Okay, hey guys. So, Unit 4 vocabulary. This time I'm going to focus on nouns again as person, place, thing, or idea, especially because we have a few words this unit that are multiple parts of speech. It would be wise if some of you guys got together and made a Quizlet set that not only mentioned what was on the slides, but also the type of stuff I'm saying about the word, such as the connotation. Our first word for this unit is travesty. 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 It is a noun and a verb. It is a negatively toned word. In its noun form, it's a false or absurd representation of something. So, for an example, you could say that like Justin Bieber is a travesty of an American pop singer, right? Because he's like a mockery, an absurd representation. Like he's so I'm sorry if some of you guys like Justin Bieber. But he's like an absurd representation of what a pop singer should be. In its verb form, it means to represent in a false or mocking way. So, for example, on the left, you see the cartoonist drew a mockery of our political system. Okay, so drew, he was making a mockery, right? So that's in its noun sense, right? If you're going to use it as verb sense, you're going to say she, I don't know, travestied the political system by drawing this cartoon. Again, in both situations, is a negatively toned word. Good synonym would be mockery, a parody. It's meant to be an absurd representation of something you don't like. Next is ameliorate. It is a verb and it means to make better. A good synonym would be to improve. It is a positively toned word. And if you look at our example here, ameliorate is what she does, she being the pronoun here. And she's ameliorating, right? Her grade by improving her study habits. So you wouldn't say the ameliorate student. The student has to ameliorate, right? The pronoun she is doing the action of ameliorating. So, ameliorate, positively toned word. It means to make better, to improve. Normally, something is bad and you ameliorate it by doing something to make it better. You improve it. The next word is ascribe, and ascribe means to assign or refer to as a cause or source. A good synonym for this might be to attribute. This is a neutrally toned word. In the sentence here, it says, while you can sometimes ascribe these symptoms to allergies, see here, like it's a verb. So you, the pronoun, is ascribing the other noun symptoms to allergies. It's you're assigning or referring to as a cause or a source. So you could ascribe your, I don't know, your bad attitude. This is something for me, your bad attitude with being hungry. Okay. So it might help if you could write the sentence by saying ascribe something, like ascribe your bad attitude to. So ascribing something to. See how here it says to allergies. So when you go to write your own sentence with ascribe, try to think about writing it in terms of like ascribing something to and use that sentence structure. The next one, axiomatic. Axiomatic means self-evident, self-evident. A good synonym for that might be universally accepted or believed. So I consider formal attire to as axiomatic for the workplace. It's just self-evident. In this sentence, axiomatic is describing the attire. Remember, adjectives describe nouns. So it's axiomatic. The attire is just self evident. Like you look nice, your attire is formal in a workplace. So, like, in this sense, like if you were to say, like, the axiomatic behavior for a funeral might be somber. Here, I'm describing the behavior. Now, people are not axiomatic. That's something to know. You can't say the axiomatic girl. You're using it in the right part of speech, but you wouldn't use it in that context. Okay. You would not describe a person as axiomatic. You would describe their attire or their beliefs or their actions, for example, but you would not describe the person as axiomatic. Exhort. It means to try to influence someone by words or advice, to strongly urge someone to do something. This isn't really this is more of a neutrally toned word. Just the idea of it is a strong influence, like you're pushing someone, you're urging by words or advice. There's a little bit of there's like force inherent in this definition, right? You're not going to lightly suggest and say, I'm exhorting you. So many Facebook statuses exhorted people. They pushed, they forced, they came on so strong. Okay. Again, it's not negative in general, but just know that it's a strong forcing. Expostulate. Expostulate is a verb and it means to dissuade someone with serious reasoning. Expostulate and exhort are different, okay? So here, again, expostulate, they're both verbs, which also helps to make that confusing, but a synonym for expostulate is to deter. Expostulate means to stop someone from doing something with serious reasoning, okay? So, for example, here in the sentence, they expostulated the idea by showing me how much I was in debt. They stopped the idea by showing me how much I was in debt. Expostulate, again, is a neutrally toned word. It's strong like exhort, but expostulate has more to do with dissuading someone. Gossamer. It's an adjective and a noun, and it means thin, light, delicate, very thin, light cloth. Um, Again, this is a neutrally toned word, but know that it is an adjective and a noun. So in our sentence here, gossamer is being used as an adjective because, see, it's describing material. Material is the noun. So the bride's veil was made of gossamer material. Okay, so the word gossamer is describing the material. If you wanted to use this as a noun, you would say, I was only interested in, I don't know, I was only interested in hanging gossamer around my Halloween party, like hanging light, delicate fabrics. Okay. If you were to say, I used gossamer decorations at my Halloween party, then you're using it as an adjective. Infringe. Infringe is a verb. Infringe on his social life. Okay, so infringe means to do something that does not follow or obey the rules of law. To violate would be a good synonym. This is a negatively toned word. And another good definition for it is to wrongly limit or restrict. You infringe upon something. So when you go to write this word in a sentence, think about using it in the sense whatever, infringed on or infringed upon. It's to do something that does not follow or obey with laws. So you can infringe. This is something for me. I like my personal space. You can infringe on my personal space by being like a close talker, right? You're doing something that does not obey or follow. You're like violating my personal space. You can also infringe, like governments can infringe upon the rules of or the rights of their citizens by wrongly imprisoning them. Okay, so again, this is a verb and it's something a noun does, like a person would infringe or a government would infringe on or upon something. Again, negatively toned word. Ingratiate, it is a verb and it means to gain favor. Ingratiate means to gain favor. Um, and a good synonym for that would be approval. This ingratiate normally is a positively toned word. It's when you do something to gain favor. So, for example, like if you just started a new job, maybe you would ingratiate yourself to your coworkers by like baking cookies. Okay, so it is something that you do to gain favor. It's not like brown nosy. It's not like you trying to be too much. It's you just doing something in order to make people like you, to kind of work your way into the group. But again, it's more positively toned. It's not you like being, like I said, like being a brown noser, like being too much. It's just doing what's appropriate to warm yourself up to the group. Our next word is nominal, and it means existing in name only and not real, too small to be considered or taken seriously. So, a nominal is a negatively toned word. In this example here, it's an adjective. Nominal amount of charities each year. So you donated such a small amount, it can't be taken seriously. Now, don't start using this to describe like height. So here has a small. Sometimes people want to say like, you know, he was known for his nominal height. Unless he was like a quarter of an inch tall, you wouldn't use it in that way. All right. Nominal means too small, like not in physical height necessarily, but its place or existence was so small or minute. Minute would be another good synonym for this word. existing only in name, not real. Like if you were part of a club and you only showed up one time during the year, your participation would be incredibly nominal. Remonstrate. Remonstrate is a verb and it means to argue with someone against something, to protest against strongly. I'm very non confrontational. Rather than yell, I remonstrate with the individual. I will simply walk away from the argument. So, in this sense, the I, pronoun I, is doing the remonstrating. You would not try to use this word as an adjective and say, in the remonstrate argument, I was the winner. No, you're trying to describe the argument as a remonstrate, and that's you using it as an adjective. I would be remonstrating in or during the argument. Repudiate. It is a verb and it means to refuse to have anything to do with, to disown. A good synonym will be to reject, to deny. You repudiate. In the sentence here, a lot of disgruntled citizens repudiated the presidential candidates and refused to vote. So here, the citizens are repudiating. They are saying no, no, thank you. Um, it's not, it's a negatively toned word, but in the sense that, like, whoever the noun is doesn't like whatever is going on and they repudiate it. Okay. Like you are not wrong for repudiating something. You don't like the thing that you are repudiating, if that makes sense. So, it's whatever like the citizens aren't bad for repudiating. In their opinion, the presidential candidate is. Reverberate. This is a neutrally toned word and it means to echo over and over again, to reflect or be reflected repeatedly. Uh, I thought the rumors would die down, but they continued to reverberate all night on Twitter. So here, the rumors are the nouns, that would be the noun, and they are reverberating. You would not say reverberate rumors. There you're trying to use it as an adjective again. Here, the rumors have to be doing the reverberating. They have to be echoing over and over again, either like out loud, like in a cave, like somebody yelling, or you see it over and over and over again. Like on Facebook, sometimes news stories tend to reverberate. You see them posted over and over again. Stringent. Stringent is definitely a negatively toned word. It is an adjective and it means very bitter or severe. Okay, so stringent is either, you'd use it in two senses. Either if we're talking about taste, you could say the taste of the lemonade was incredibly stringent and I didn't like it. It was so bitter. Or you could say, in this sense, the rules were so stringent, they were bitter, they were severe or strong rules. Okay, so if you're talking about taste, like physical taste, the taste is bitter. But if we're talking about it in sense of like rules are laws, or like even a teacher, you could describe their rules as stringent. Okay, but you would not use it in the sense like if a person was bitter, like they after a divorce or something, you would not say like, my mom was stringent after the divorce, trying to say like she was a bitter person. No, bitter is only, you use it only in the sense of taste. So like the flavor was bitter. Okay. This one is surmise. 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 And it is a noun and a verb. You almost never hear it in the noun form, but I want you to know that it would be correct if used in the noun form. So, to surmise means to form an opinion without knowing the truth. A good synonym for there would be to guess. In using in the noun form, it is the thought based with little evidence. So, it's either forming a thought with little evidence, like, I walked in the house and I could tell, I surmised from my mom's expression she was not in a good mood, right? So, like, I guessed she wasn't in a good mood based on her expression. I didn't have a ton of evidence. I just looked at her expression. Or you can say, um, my surmise didn't go over well when I told my mom to lighten up. So see there, I'm using it as a noun because I'm saying like my guess didn't go over well. All right. So, and surmise can be positive or negative, right? Or neutral. It doesn't really have a tone to it. It really just has to do with thinking about something that you see and making a guess based off of what you see. But it really isn't like if you worked really hard at figuring something out, you wouldn't surmise at that point. Surmise is just like you looked at something very quickly and then you surmised. Like you would not want a investigator to surmise on a criminal, right? You would want the investigator to look at a lot of different details and facts before coming up with their opinion. Okay, so all right, so there are Unit 4 words. I think it's short, one or two, which is fine. We'll put those in a little bit later. But there you go. Somebody make the Quizlet. Bye.